All right, what we're doing today is lab 5.5.4. What we're looking at is we have three different acids. You'll notice all the three acids are 0.1 molar, so they're the same concentration. But what we're going to look at is we're going to look at the pH of each of those, and we're going to look at the amount of base that it takes to titrate each of those. So the first part is we're going to look at the pH. What we have is a pH paper, and the pH paper will give us different colors depending on the pH. Now, you might have learned at some point that pH 7 is neutral, so they're kind of all yellowish orange. And then as we get into the oranges and the reds, we're more acidic, and the blues are more basic. So if I put this into the acetic acid, the hydrochloric acid, and the sulfuric acid, we see that the acetic acid is about pH 5. And we look at the other two, and we see that they're about pH 1. So the acetic acid, pH 5. The other two are about pH 1 or pH 2. It's a little tough to tell because they're the same basic shade of red, so it's pH 1 or pH 2. Now what we're going to do is we're going to titrate each of these. Now what does that mean? What that means is we're going to add sodium hydroxide, which is a base, to our different acids, and we're going to see how much sodium hydroxide it takes to neutralize them. Now, just for a reference, here's our sodium hydroxide. If we use a piece of pH paper in it, it turns a very strong shade of blue, which shows that it's about pH of 11. Very strongly basic. So what we're going to do is we've loaded this burette with sodium hydroxide. We're going to add a pre-measured amount of acetic acid. Now what we absolutely have to do is we have to add phenolphthalein. If we don't add the phenolphthalein, they'll react, we'll never see it. So when you do a titration, you absolutely have to add an indicator of some sort to tell you that the reaction has occurred. Now, phenolphthalein is colorless in acid, but when it gets into a basic solution, it changes to a bright pink. We'll be able to tell when we go from having acid in here and then the solution becomes basic because all of the acid has been used up by the sodium hydroxide. So let's begin. Now, we don't see any pink coloration. To make it a little easier, we're going to put this white paper over so that we can see the pink more easily.